You're rocking with the voice of Town View. We put our spin on trending topics and school news. Thought-provoking, insightful, we speak the truth. We do it for all ages, not just for the youth. Listen close, you might learn something. Or laugh so hard, you split your side of something. Live stream a podcast. Whenever you tune in, it's sure to be a blast. Let's be honest, you don't want to miss that. Content so real, you gonna want to run it back. We keep you entertained while making an impact. Want foreign announcements? Well, this is not that. Sports, pop, culture, political. Whatever you like, we got you covered, bro. It's a movement more than just a show. It's KSBM Radio.
Come closer to the music.
Broadcasting live from Marvin E. Robinson School of Business and Management, Dallas, Texas.
My radio station.
We are KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
Welcome everybody to a very, very special segment of The Locker Room. We are here with our founding fathers, essentially. I am JoJo. I'm here with
AD
and Skelly.
And so this is The Locker Room, and I'm just gonna get straight into it because y'all already know who we're with. And so I guess the first thing we want to talk about is my Cowboys. So we've been doing better recently.
It was a good game. It was a good game.
We've made up for the loss to the 49ers, I'd say, but we haven't really faced anybody of that caliber except for recently with the Eagles, and we lost to them. But that was a game of interest, man. We could next time we got that. Would you
feel like that was coaching? Y'all definitely got out coached that entire game.
Not even. It was a game of inches, literally. First, the knee happened where he didn't want to get in the end zone, right? And then it was Dak's foot getting out of bounds. And then CD, that was a few yards off. But still, I feel like that was a very winnable game. And the Eagles have been losing very close games to teams they have no business losing to. Like the Commanders, they've lost to, who's their first loss to?
The Jets.
The Jets, yeah.
Oh,
no offense. Their defense is impeccable, but their offense is nothing to be heard of. So, I don't know. How y'all feel about the Cowboys this season so far?
That loss was gut-wrenching in a way, from people that, some of the journalists in the locker room said, the players felt like it was kind of a moral victory, but, as a casual fan, it was sad to see that everything, that, the fact that they could have won, I know Stephen A. said, they might have lost the Cowboys' way. They were 1st and 6. They were first and goal from the 6 with, 29 seconds left? And they ended up, the last play was 3rd and 27 with 5 seconds left. So it's like, the plays the things that couldn't happen, happened. The first down, sack. Second down, penalty. So it's, kind of a Cowboys way, but, it was encouraging seeing that they could hang with the Eagles. The Eagles didn't play their best game, and that's one story of the season for the Eagles, especially on offense. They always let their opponents hang around. There's been some sportscasters saying that the Eagles are more disciplined and, they're better coached. To a certain extent, that's true. But at the same time, their last 3 drives, they couldn't convert a first down to help, run out the clock. So I'm torn between feeling good about the game because they were able to keep up with the Eagles, who are number 1 in the NFC. They have a great defense. They have some weaknesses in their secondary for the Eagles. But at the same time, it's like, you were first and goal at 6 with 20 seconds left, and you weren't able to convert. So I don't know how I feel about it. I still think about it.
I feel like about the Cowboys, we got off to a good note to start the season. After we lost Trayvon Diggs, the team just kind of went downhill from there. Like their momentum just kind of, they let the injury kind of bring them down. I also feel like if they don't get their running game going, like by next week, that we might not even have a shot at the wild card spot.
Yep.
As far as the playoffs look, I think that compared to last season this season he's more consistent. Like he actually is showing up to the games. Stuff.
I think we got someone that disagree, man.
No.
Okay. It looked like you wasn't
I was actually going to say like last week you can't even blame that on Dak.
Yeah,
Like,
No.
he had a
Dak-
great game.
Dak played his heart out. Didn't he throw for like 300, 400 yards?
Yeah.
Right.
Yards.
It's
Yeah.
definitely improvement.
Except for the foot, but
Yeah.
that wasn't that isn't
I don't-
necessarily his fault.
And I watched what they said on ESPN, and they said that it looked like he was trying to go untouched, and I kind of see what they were trying to say there, but at the same time it's like, well, it's another game, you don't want to risk like taking contact and possibly not making it, so why not just take the outside and run it in for an easy touchdown. So like that game was also a game of interest, so I'm not really too disturbed by that game.
So Cowboys fans, do y'all like seeing Dak get aggressive and running the ball?
Oh yeah.
To
Definitely.
a certain extent.
Yeah.
Because on that last play that he was flipped, I
Right.
didn't like seeing that.
Yeah. I think with all the talent that they're bringing to the team, they're slowly adjusting to it. I mean, they're making progress, but the whole team has to show up. You know, we just can't have some weeks where where Dak is on fire, some weeks where the defense is on fire. It needs to be consistent. It needs to be the same thing every week. I know every time a Cowboy gets injured, we kind of just sit and eat on that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
especially as fans.
Every time a key player goes
Right,
out,
yeah.
it's like a whole chunk. Like it was their whole backfield is like almost basically.
I mean, Deron Bland has been picking up the slack.
Yeah.
He's been doing really good. I think he has 3 pick sixes, which is I think
The
first.
most in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had two of them. That just in 1 week, 1 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of them more guys.
Yeah, no. My biggest issue with the Cowboys is the offensive line. There's been no continuity.
No
They only had,
consistency.
I think, no consistency, no continuity. I think there's been like 1 or 2 games where the starting 5, their best 5, have been in the same game. The first one was with the 49ers, but I mean the entire team didn't show up that game. And I think this game against the Eagles was also the second one. Everyone played. The left side of the offensive line played well. Tyron Smith played well.
Right.
It was going to be a challenge for who's the center? I always forget his name.
Exactly.
Tyler Biadasz.
Tyler
Tyler Biadasz. It was going to be a challenge because the Eagles' defensive line is stacked. So
Right.
he either has to guard Fletcher
Elite.
Cox or he has to guard Jalen Carter, or he either has to guard who's the other one? The other defensive.
The one they just signed? Is it
Uh,
DeAndre? No,
no. Jalen Carter is the one they just
Jalen
drafted.
Carter is the one
Yeah.
they drafted.
They drafted
They
ninth
got
overall.
that safety.
Tyler Byard.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Byard.
Kevin Byard.
Yeah. They just
So, and then the right side, Zach Martin, All Pro, future Hall of Famer. But Terrence Steele,
He was getting eaten.
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Terrence Steele was
it was
especially that last drive.
Yeah, that last drive,
they
yeah.
tore him apart.
yeah,
rough.
the moment you needed him to just make a block, 1 more second, give Dak 1 more second is, you try to understand because he's coming back from an ACL injury, which takes a while. Michael Gallup hasn't been the same since his ACL injury, so I was hoping the Cowboys would make a move for the trade deadline. Maybe Derrick Henry could have been one we would have gotten, but like my brother and I call them Jerry and Stephen Jones, the Dallas Cap Boys, because they're always worried about the cap's salary cap, and they're always like, kind of like your parents. We got McDonald's at home. We like our guys, and our guys are good, but all the other contending teams, the Lions, the Eagles, the 49ers, they all made moves to help themselves get over the hump, to be
Right.
better. The Cowboys were, we got McDonald's at home. We like our guys, so
They got rid of people to get more cap space,
Yeah.
and then didn't
Yeah.
sign more people.
So I was hoping the Cowboys would do something.
Well, they did with just recently with Bryant.
I mean, the dude
And
hasn't
it's
played in
one
5
of
years. that
and it's
much
one of those things where it's same old with the Cowboys. When was the last time they've really made a run to the Super Bowl?
Right.
It's been what?
I think the real big thing that hurt us
27
this year too, like you said, it's the running game. And that's why we got rid of Zeke, and like I know he's not just top tier Zeke no more.
Right.
But he was a low carry. You know, a guy that will get inside that box. Can take the hits from those big linebackers. I love Tony Pollard, but he's a speed runner.
I think it was already said that he's a two-back. He's
Yeah.
the second.
Yeah.
He works best as a second option. That's where he best flourishes. He's not a power back. He can't take those type of hits.
And it's been working against us this whole season. Not being able to run that ball.
Yeah, and then when Zeke was on the team, you get Tony Pollard gets a break. Now he's number one, and he's the one giving the other running backs a break. So now you're starting to see the position that he was in last year, starting to get chances to other guys. Because now he's taking up most of the time, and he's trying to carry the run game.
Right.
And then he gets taken out, and you have a rookie that comes in, they make a big play, and then he's back in, and then he tries to run the ball, and it's only like 3 or 4 yards.
He's had to take in much of the load. Zeke took, I think, almost 300 carries when he was there, and Tony Pollard took, I think the highest he had ever taken was 175.
And it's a big difference being that starting running back, man. It's a lot more we ask from you. You're getting hit a lot more, and Tony not the biggest person. I know it's not like he just getting hurt every game, but man, it's a big difference, man. It's a big difference being asked to be that starting running back and carry that load.
It's always nice to have that compliment. You know, when Zeke was there, some of the coaches called it thunder and lightning. So, you knew Zeke was a power back. You know he was looking for contact. So the linebackers and safeties would be closer to the line. But once Pollard would be in there, everyone took their assignments, blocked, and that's when he was able to hit those 30, 40-yard runs because, the safeties and linebackers were closer to the line. Now we don't have that. Now they know, it'll be Pollard and then no one else after that. I'd like for them to get the fullback Hunter Lipke more involved. When it was time to do the cuts, and he made the 50-man roster. I was hoping they'd do some stuff like the 49ers do with Kyle Juszczyk.
Juicy Juice.
So I was hoping they'd do stuff like that. My delusional Cowboys hopes are that they're saving all the good plays and stuff for later on in the season, postseason, with some of their players like Hunter Lipke, maybe even Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn and I are the same height, so I'm telling you, man, seeing him out there, I was telling my wife, I was like, look, we're the same height. He's doing it for the short guys, but he hasn't played as many games as I'd like to see him play. But
And also, kind of going back to Tony, it's the stuff that they ask of him off the ball that Zeke was normally taking care of, like the blocking motion.
Yeah, he blocks.
Like
He blocks.
He's had a few good blocks that I've noticed, but really Zeke was always getting those pancake blocks to give Dak that extra second and give him that extra time to throw it. And now that's Tony having to take it, and that's just more pressure on him and more wear and tear on him.
Like the 2-man game right now, we got Tony at the one, starting it off, and then we got rookie. As much as he's a decent player, I forgot his name.
Rico, is it Rico Dowdle? No, I think he's in the.
I know he the rookie dog though. Rookie,
Yeah.
But
The
it's
running
like,
back?
The running
The
back.
Peaky?
That's not, I can't.
Deuce Vaughn?
It's Deuce Vaughn,
It's
Rico
Deuce
Dowdle's in the
Vaughn.
practice squad. The other one is.
Just one more.
Yeah, there's one more.
Yeah,
Dude with long hair, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he has
I
long
just can't
hair,
think of his
man.
name, but I know he rookie dog, and just like y'all was saying, Zeke and Tony 1-2 punch. Zeke come in, do what he got to do, and then Tony's like that little firecracker, that lightning ball, like y'all was saying. You just never know what can you expect. Might break one for 20 or for a touchdown. Haven't had that this year with knowing what you're gonna get from Tony at being that first running back position. Haven't been getting those breakout runs. Really ain't been getting those 5-yard runs or the 4-yard, 5-yard runs, which makes a difference because 2 5-yard runs, just like that, a first down. So this is I just it seems like the NFL is really trying to get away with the running back, and it's like it seems like they don't understand how important a running back truly is to the overall game of football. So that's what I wish we really get back into. Like I said, the line ain't really doing what they need to anyway, so that makes it even harder. But I do think we really need to get back into that running game, man. I don't care if it's Kyle Shanahan or anybody else. They're gonna make sure they have a run game that fits their style and that works with them. And I just feel like if we do that, it'll take so much pressure off Dak. Because we're asking him to always be this pocket passer, and I don't think he can do it, but he's just not the best at it. Because he's an athlete. I just want Dak to to do what he did at Mississippi State and just make the best play.
Yeah.
Like don't always think you have to force the ball. Don't always think you have to run the ball back-to-back plays. Just make the best play. If the run is there, take it. Just slide. Just don't take the hit. Just slide. If you see the pass, man, go ahead and throw it. Just throw it with confidence. I think sometimes he overthinks.
Yeah.
You know, especially in those big games. And I understand, like, you got a lot riding this year. Seems like it's a make or break year this year. You got Trey Lance right behind him. So it's like, if I don't do well now, I got this young buck trying to come take my spot. So, hey, I don't know. I want to ask y'all predictions for the rest of the year. I feel like we are not going to win a division, but I do feel like we'll be in that 5th or 6th spot. I want to know how y'all feel.
So besides the negative outlooks on what the Cowboys need to work on, they're still putting up some pretty good numbers every game. Like when we first started the season, 40-0, 30-10, putting up high numbers like that are important. You know, that's what we like to see. So besides the negatives, what do y'all think some key things are that y'all want to see that'll, that are important to us, that'll get us into, if not the playoffs, it'll keep us right there fighting for the wild card spot?
So one thing,
Would y'all think it's more of the offense or the defense or maybe some of both?
I feel like it might be a bit of both. For me, the offense, one thing that I would want them to do better is better offensive line. Everyone, completing their assignments, better blocking for the running game. A little more confidence from Dak, because there has been some plays where, like during the Eagles game on the 4th and 8,
right.
He threw it to Gallup, even though it was a face mask. If you look down the middle, the safety Byard went to go help Darius Slay with CeeDee Lamb, so it left the middle open for Jake Ferguson. He was already running in stride.
Right.
And the linebacker was facing Dak, so all he had to do, or actually the linebacker was facing Dak, turned around, so Dak just had to look at, and he was already looking at Jake Ferguson down the middle.
Yeah.
And he saw it, but since he thought maybe the linebacker would turn around, might have been like, I don't want to do one of those plays where I throw it, the linebacker turns around and he picks it. He threw to Gallup. So maybe that for the defense, the secondary is playing well considering you don't have Trevon Diggs.
But like, what are your favorite things that you like watching the game for? Yeah, like when you watch the games, what are your favorite parts about watching them though? About the offense or about the defense?
About the offense. But to me, I guess my favorite part would be CeeDee Lamb really cementing himself as a
one of the top
wide
guys.
receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, he had almost 200 yards against the Eagles, and I mean the Eagles have a really good defense. Their secondary isn't the best, but either way, to me, would be CeeDee Lamb being a really good wide receiver.
Because I feel like we might not have the best schedule in the NFL, but our team compared to previous seasons is solid.
Yeah.
Probably even a little
well-rounded.
better than that.
And I think that's why it kind of is a little bit upsetting this year, because we got the talent. And we can be better than what we're playing. And then once again, we got the Trayvon Diggs injury. It's been a couple things going against us. But like I said, and for me, it's more so when we play the teams we're supposed to beat, we beat them. Yeah, we play the teams that we know we're going to have. It's like being a bully. You picking on the little guy, but when somebody comes your size, it's like, okay, now what you going to do?
Yeah.
So when we play the 49ers, the Eagles, the Dolphins, whoever these top teams, it's like we fold. We don't play to the best of our ability, which is frustrating.
That's what my biggest thing is with the front office is this is literally the best team you've had in a long time. The 2014 team was really good. They were able to beat, even though it wasn't in the wild card, but they were able to beat the Legion of Boom, Seattle back in 2014. So that team was really good too. But I think this team would be better than that one. And the Cowboys had a chance to make it better, to actually, Jerry Jones says, you have no idea the check I'm willing to write to win the next Super Bowl. And this is the team to do it. And all you have to do was actually write that check. Give up a second round for Derrick Henry. He's on the last year of his deal, I think, or maybe he has 2 years left. And I was looking at the cap hit. He only counts for $10 million this season, and he'll be $4 million next season.
Right.
Let Pollard walk, who's getting paid $10 million, and then you just draft another. You
would need to draft another running back higher.
Yeah, you could do Rico Dowdle be the second dude.
Yeah,
Keep dudes fun.
He's been pretty solid.
So do something. You know, you knew your run. You know, Tolly Pollard needed, you know, to be a complimentary back to a dude that is a workhorse back, but you know they didn't do it. And then what was another thing that I was thinking of? I don't know. I just wish.
Well,
the Cowboys
while
would
you're
make-
on the topic of the like management, how do you feel about the coaches? Do y'all think, you know, as far as our coaches, are y'all satisfied with who,
on the defensive
and the calls
side,
they're making? Or
on the defensive side, I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
Dan Quinn's been doing
Yeah.
really good. On the offensive, I feel like Mike McCarthy and the offensive coordinator Schottenheimer,
right?
I feel like they were a little too conservative.
I
At
think
the
I
beginning of
heard
the
ever since
season-
McCarthy came to our team, we've been having like 12
Yeah.
win seasons or something.
Yes,
And he's
but
calling the plays
now-
this year. So
Yeah.
He
I've
is
been
the play
liking him
caller.
calling the plays.
Yeah.
Once again, like we say, it's certain times you would like him to be a little bit more aggressive at some points. But I think it's a lot better than what we were doing last year as far as the play calling.
Yeah,
By firing
Definitely.
Kellen Moore, it was
Yeah.
definitely the move to make at that point.
Yeah, it was, man. But I like Mike calling plays.
So are y'all fans of like how this season they're starting to go for more on fourth down? Dak is starting to run the ball
Yeah,
a little
I
bit
like
more,
Taking
and
more
stuff like that.
risks, yeah.
I feel like that was highlighted especially in the Eagles game where we had like three or fourth down.
Yeah, going
conversions.
forward on fourth down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally we'll punt
Yeah.
in that situation and go
Yeah.
for the field goal, but I like him being more aggressive, and I think
Yeah.
that's what really kept us in that game.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the season, since, you know, the topic throughout the offseason was Dak's interception, so they were, I feel like at the beginning of the season, they were really, really conservative. So now that, you know, they're getting more acclimated to the playbook and Dak's showing that, you know, he has more confidence in himself and in the throws and in the reads, that they're letting him, you know, get loose. So I think I'm good with the play calling, even though sometimes it is a little too conservative. But overall, being able to, you know, win the games we've won. The only one that has an asterisk about very bad play all around was the San Francisco game. But yeah, I like the offense so far.
And I think that as the season progresses, we're starting to see Mike McCarthy start to grow as he's calling the plays, because you can tell at the beginning of the season he was trying to be conservative, like even more conservative than he is now. Like he's trying to run the ball more, and as the season's progressing, and he's seeing that Dak is starting to get more comfortable with his wide receivers and starting to notice the weapons that are on his team. He's starting to become more aggressive and then starting to go for those fourth down plays.
Feel more comfortable.
Yeah, starting to put the ball in the air a lot more, and I love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think our offense has really reached its full potential yet, because we haven't really used Brandon Cooks like that.
Yeah.
We just got Michael Gallup, who we know can not just top receiver, but we know he can have those type games that can really be breakout games for him. And like I said, the run game hasn't really just bust out like we wanted to. So even though we've been playing pretty decent on offense, it's like we can still play a lot better, which is scary to think about. It's like if we get that offense going, because like I said, I think the defense is fine even with Trayvon Diggs. You're going to give up points. These offenses nowadays are just, you're going to give it up sometimes, but it's just got to maintain. But with our offense, I just think it's just the consistency. It's like I said, being aggressive. When it's time, knowing when to go for it on fourth down, when not to go for it. Specifically in that Eagles game, being able to lock in from all the way to that clock hit zero, because there's no way, in my opinion, there's no way you should get all the way down to the red zone and then get pushed back 25 yards when you got a chance to win the game. That's discipline. That's something you, as professionals, that shouldn't happen. I can see that high school, middle school, whatever the case is, as professionals, we should not be able to get to that red zone and then all of a sudden get pushed back. Like that's unacceptable. So it's things like that to me that we should be able to get over that hump. Don't know what we're gonna do. It's the Cowboys. We say what we're gonna do, and it also seems like we always do the opposite. So hopefully they can get it together, and like I said, at least get to this maybe 4th through 6th seed. And as far as the ceiling, I'm still pushing at least maybe NFC conference, man.
So,
NFC conference.
You think the team is at a point where they're only going to get better? Does everyone else feel like the team is at a point where they haven't reached their full potential, or do y'all feel like every week, you know, it's something different with them? And then how do y'all feel about the rest of the season?
every week I feel like it's a certain issue that they have. I think that they can get past those issues, but it's a new one that keeps popping up. And you feel like the issue gets fixed the next week, and then a new thing comes up.
Yeah, that would be one thing with the Cowboys, that consistency, just being able to play good complementary football, week to week. But life in the NFL, not everything goes your way.
So if you had to predict how many more games we got, like
We have this is going to be
this weekend is week 10.
Week 10,
So there's a good 7 more.
So I think we beat the next ones. Is we beat the Giants, we beat Carolina, we beat Washington, and after that we play the Seahawks. That one might be tough, but I think we can beat that one. And then after that, it's the Eagles. No, after that's the Eagles.
It's
The
the
Eagles at home.
Eagles at home. So I
Eagles
So I
at
think
home, so
we-
I
we
don't
win
think
that
I'm not
one.
gonna.
Then it's at
think we putting that
Buffalo.
around?
Eagles at.
I mean, but
I think we can beat them at
Give or take.
No.
Think about it. We brought them down to the wire at
Yeah.
home.
At
their home.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, and the Cowboys are 11-0 over the last 11 home games. So we win at home. So I think after that, that's the Eagles. Then after that, I think it's at Buffalo. Then at Miami. I think we lose at Buffalo, but we win at Miami.
At Miami.
Because it might be snowing at Buffalo. But I think we can beat Miami. And then after that, it's the Lions at home. That one's out
The
of
Lions
the
been
Lions are
looking
fine.
Yeah, the
really
Lions.
good.
That one's, I don't know how to talk about the Lions.
Lions been looking-
Like, hold on.
So
the
it'll be
Lions
the
are looking
Lions.
phenomenal this year.
Yeah.
And then it's the Commanders again.
They did get exposed by the Ravens, though. What was it like?
I mean,
38-7.
Yeah,
The
so it was
Lions-
like 40
I mean,
to, yeah, 38, yeah, 38
The Lions-
to
That's
6,
just
yeah.
a skill thing at that point. The Lions are a very well coached team, and they always fight to the last minute. But I think they just need more players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
They need more weapons. They need more explosive players. That's what kind of happened with the Ravens, where Lamar Jackson just went off.
Yeah, for a while, Lamar was all the Ravens had. Like, it was just Lamar and Mark Andrews. That was it. So, I like the Lions. I'm rooting for the Lions this season. If the Cowboys don't do anything, my hopes and prayers are for the Lions. Finally, they were able to use Jahmyr Gibbs, their rookie running back. It felt like for so many weeks they were just letting David Montgomery, their other running back, take everything. But since he was hurt the last 2 weeks, they let Jahmyr Gibbs, so he's been good. I hope the Lions. And the Lions do have a pretty easy schedule for the remainder of the season. I think they play Minnesota twice. They play Green Bay, then they play the Falcons. So it's pretty easy games for them. They might win the NFC because everyone else has
They're leading
a
their
gauntlet
division
of
right
like
now.
5 weeks of really hard
I
games.
think the Eagles have a crazy schedule. I think
Yeah.
they face us, they face the Dolphins.
Yeah,
and
they face us. They face Buffalo. They face. I think they might play the No. The 49ers play the Ravens. Like, even the 49ers also have a hard schedule. The 49ers have to play the Eagles. I think they also play Buffalo. I know they play the Ravens. Then they play Seattle, which is in their division. So everyone else, other than the Eagles, has a really hard, or other than the Lions, has a really hard remaining schedule. So I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if, at the end of the season, the Lions are the first in the NFC and everyone else fighting for either to win their division or a wild card game.
So bringing it back to the Cowboys, this weekend, do you think we go in with the same intensity that we did in the opening week? Because we beat them 40-0, and we played them again. This weekend. So do you guys think we go in with the same intensity that we went in the first game, or do we dial it back a little bit?
as far as like play calling, aggressiveness, our momentum. I mean,
quarterback, right? Yeah, they have.
We'll see because I know they. Who do we play this coming week?
The Giants.
The Giants.
The thing with the Giants, they have I think they have like 18 players in IR.
Yeah.
So that's basically half the offense, half the defense, half the team. So it should be an easy game, but the thing in life in the NFL, there are no easy games. The Cardinals game proves it. Like everyone, we were looking past the Cardinals, like, 49ers next week. What are y'all gonna do? Oh, y'all just have to get through the Cardinals, and we saw how that went. 28 to 16. Lost. We were 12-point favorites. Yeah, Cowboys were 12-point favorites. They ended up losing by 12 points. I was gonna make a bet on it, but since sports betting in Texas isn't legal yet, and the sports book on my app was like, dude, if you go to Oklahoma, you can make this bet. But I was like, man, I don't want to drive an hour and a half just to make a bet. I would have won, but no, I didn't want to do that. So I was scared for that game that the Cowboys would look past it. But I'm a little scared that the Cowboys might look past the Giants this week and might just not show up. So that's my only fear. Like, I think the Cowboys could do another shutout, or they could. They're right now they're like 16, 18-point favorites. I think they could win by that big margin. But I'm just scared that they just like, it's the Giants. They don't have that many players, you know.
I think they are, though, because I think we do play, for some reason, we just play a lot better coming off a loss, especially an embarrassing loss. So I think they are going to match the intensity, even though it is the Giants. So, like Misa said, they definitely have an opportunity of just overlooking them, and then all of a sudden, you know, we get beat. Especially it's a division game, so these division games, you never know what can happen. But I think they are going to show with the intensity just coming off that loss from the Eagles last week.
Hopefully with the running game.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, no. This would
is
be
the
a
game
good
to
game,
do that.
yeah.
So, it's the game to work on that, to
Yeah.
really get it going, to start implementing that now. So, hopefully to answer your question, hopefully they do the intensity.
And the Giants just traded one of their defensive tackles to the Seahawks. So now it's just Dexter Lawrence there in the middle. So, you know, their defensive line isn't as strong as it was week 1 when we played them. So, yeah, hopefully this is the game we get the run game going. And
I think it'll be.
you think so?
Definitely
Gut
should
feeling?
be.
Yeah.
100%.
I hope so. I hope so. They gave you the script.
Right.
All right, so we're going to come back we'll see y'all in a second. We're going to come back to a quick little break. We'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, KSBM family? Currently enjoying the show? But don't leave us just yet. We will be right back after this short break.
We gotta switch it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Y'all want to switch it? All right, so welcome back, everybody. We are going to continue with our sports segment. So I think we've talked about the Cowboys enough, so let's switch it up to everybody else in the NFL. So what do y'all think about how the playoff picture is looking right now, and how do y'all think it's going to change heading into the end of the season?
To me, I guess we could just move to, since we mainly talked about the NFC, we'll move over to the AFC. One thing that we were talking about earlier when we got here was this season doesn't look as exciting as other seasons in terms of how strong some of the favorites are. Like the Chiefs look like they're going, you know, they have struggles. The Bills look like they have struggles. The Bengals struggled at the beginning with Joe Burrow's calf injury. So, you know, now that he's healthier, they look strong. The Ravens are a little bit struggling considering, you know, they had just signed Odell Beckham Jr., and then they just drafted Zay Flowers, so some weapons for Lamar Jackson. For whatever reason, the Ravens running backs just can't stay on the field. They have bad luck. So far, I think the last 3 seasons, they've lost every single running back. But the Ravens look really good. So I think for the AFC side, I think the Chiefs will win their division, the Bengals will win theirs, the Ravens will win theirs, and then the Dolphins will win theirs. So those will be the 4th ones. I think there's a chance the Bills might not even make the playoffs, which is crazy.
Just how the division
Who
shakes out.
else? Yeah, the Jaguars. The Jaguars look good. They look good, but I don't know. The fact that they're the Jaguars, I feel like I view them how everyone views the Cowboys. You're just like, man, you know.
It's the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's the Jaguars. But I mean, they're good, so I think the Jaguars will make the playoffs.
Their division is a little rocky right now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they got an easy division. So.
Yeah. Who? I mean, C.J. Stroud looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
C.J. Stroud had an
looks
incredible
phenomenal.
game.
I heard somebody say he's in the MVP conversation. I was like,
I don't know
I was
about all
like,
that.
that
I
might
would
be
say,
pushing.
Rookie of the year
offensive
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about MVP though.
He's
Yeah,
definitely making a great.
I mean, who would be your
claim.
MVP
Who would be?
for right now? Like, if you were to choose one, who would it be?
Right now,
In the NFL?
In the NFL, yeah. Who would it be?
That's a hard
Like,
one.
mine,
Yeah, it's tough,
I'm
man.
torn between A.J. Brown,
Oh.
considering, like, their offense has struggled, but, I mean, the dude is putting up
You
numbers.
gonna receive it?
And then Actually, the one that I would put above him would be Tyreek Hill,
Oh, yeah,
and then AJ Brown.
Yeah.
So those would be
Tyreek
the
Hill and
two
AJ
that I
Brown
would
have
give
been
my
great
vote to.
seasons.
But
I'm gonna go if he can keep it up with the pace he's been on CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb's, yeah.
Lamb's in a good place.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Jalen has a chance to get it. Jalen Hurts, depending on how they finish the season, how he.
He had a great argument for it last year, in my opinion.
I think
It might have been a better argument than Mahomes. I
feel like
definitely feel.
he's been carrying that on his shoulder. Like I didn't win it last year. Well, let me show him I'm supposed to win it this year.
Would you give it to him knowing he's leading the NFL in turnovers, both fumbles and interceptions?
It's tough because they still winning games. I mean, they still leading the division. Still arguably the favorite to come out the NFC at the time. I think them and the 49ers kind of are my two picks besides us. Like if I had to just come from an unbiased opinion, them and the 49ers are like my two picks out the NFC. And man, and one thing about Jalen, I just love about Jalen is his mindset when he goes into the games. It's like even if he does make a mistake, he'll come back in and throw a touchdown right after. So I just like that. I feel like he's kind of been a highlight of this NFL season. Like I said, it's been a lot of injuries with the quarterbacks this year. Lamar been playing some pretty good ball. I don't know if I just probably wouldn't put him over Jalen for MVP conversation. I do like your argument as far as like AJ Brown with these receivers, man, because these receivers it's been a year. They've been putting up numbers like crazy. And like I said, AJ Brown, I think with 5 straight games he had.
I think he went six straight games of over 125 receiving yards a game.
Crazy to think about. It's hard to do. You don't realize how hard that is to do. So it's messed up because I'm naming 2 Eagles.
Yeah, I know.
To possibly win MVPs, but I think my first pick would be Jalen, and who I'll probably have coming out NFC is out of the 49ers and the Eagles as of right now, if I had to take the Cowboys out of the picture.
And I kind of agree with you. As much as I hate to say it, I think that if the Eagles stay on this pace, they're on track to MVP and then come out on top of the NFL at the end of the season.
As a Cowboys fan, hate to see it, but
Yeah.
as an NFL fan of football, love to see it.
Love to see good games. But the 49ers have actually looked vulnerable. Aren't they
They
on like
have.
a 3-game losing
They're
streak?
on a 3-game losing streak.
At the beginning of the season.
I was never a Brock Purdy fan. Everybody was like, oh, he's phenomenal. He's this, he's that. He's proved everybody wrong. I was never a Brock Purdy fan.
Product of the system.
They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, right? Yeah. At the beginning of the season, they looked invincible. Like especially after destroying us, I was like, they're winning the chip. There's no question. But then they lost. Who did they first lose to? The Browns, right?
In that game, they lost Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel's 2 All-Pros.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you're right. Like, are you that good or are you
Yes,
just a product of the system? And then at the same time, Christian McCaffrey wasn't feeling too good. Like, he had a rib injury. So basically, through the majority of the game, he was missing his 3 All-Pros. So when it was time for him to carry the team, he made mistakes. And one of the talking points about him is he just doesn't make mistakes. But, you know, when you know that life in the NFL, you don't always have your the best offensive line and the best yards after the catch, all-pro weapons. And once they're not there, like, what can you do? And we saw that he couldn't pull through.
Do y'all have like a sleeper team, like a team that's probably not as talked about, but you feel like they can maybe?
Mine's the Lions, man.
I feel like they're getting the credit they deserve.
Lions feel like they're getting talked about a lot now.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I was gonna say Lions, but now they've shown what they're capable of, and they've really put themselves out there.
Especially getting the recognition they deserve now.
Especially because their record at the end of the last season, it didn't reflect how good they were getting towards the end of the season. Yeah. And they kept Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs last year, right?
They did.
That just shows their grit. And I forgot what the coach said, but he was like, "This is our win," or it was something to that effect that they're gonna go to the bitter end.
Yeah.
He's definitely building a culture over there that they seem to buy into.
Yeah,
it's
grit
just,
and grind.
Yeah,
and every play, bite people's kneecaps and whatever he said in his press interview, biting people's kneecaps. Yeah, no, for me, man, I just feel bad for the Jets though. They gave up a lot. Well, kind of gave up a lot for Aaron Rodgers, and then in the 4th play of the first. Of the first game of the season, it tears his Achilles.
Y'all think he comes back?
I think I'm.
You think so?
He's coming back, man.
This season,
Yeah,
40 years old.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying too, though.
That's
Bro, he's
think
looking phenomenal. He's out.
Because-
He's out the boot. He's not using crutches. He's throwing some passes.
But that's the thing, though. Like, he was fine, and, you know, one small twitch having to run to your right, you pop your Achilles at 40 years old. I'm pretty sure it's going to take him a lot longer. Like, he's no Adrian Peterson coming back from an ACL, you know, like 5 months later.
AP was 28 when that happened.
But
so.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I think it's one of those things where his coach is going to be like, nah. But he's going to really try to push the issue, try to get back out there, especially since they are still in the position to kind of maybe win, not win.
They're not completely out of the game yet. Yeah.
Who knows, man.
If they manage to pull themselves to the playoffs, I think there's more of an argument that he's gonna.
If he does, I'll try whatever voodoo stuff he's trying, ayahuasca, those whatever it is. Dude.
Have y'all seen the videos of him walking and?
I've seen it.
He looks good.
He
He does look good. So we'll see.
But also one thing, he's throwing the ball. He's doing
Simple
stuff.
Yeah.
Put him in the game.
Yeah, have a defensive tackle chase him, defensive end,
Getting
linebacker.
How you take that first hit?
Yeah, I don't know.
But going back to your question about the under-talk team, I gotta say the Saints. They're at the top of their division, and even though they don't have the best division,
we don't talk about the Saints on this show. No, I had to mess with me.
Yeah, but even though they don't have the best division, when was the last time you heard the Saints being talked about since Drew Brees left?
Right.
And now they're at the top of the division. So.
And that's really working in their favor that the division is not really being talked about, or they're not being talked about because they just, like you said, they just falling under the radar, finding their games here and there, keeping at the top of the division. Yeah, they keep at it, man.
That's all you can ask.
Yeah, the Saints has always had a really good defense. They've always been really good. So I do like the Saints. The Falcons, for whatever reason, they don't want to use Bijan Robinson.
That's
one
the
of the best rookies coming out of the NFL.
It's a top 10 pick.
Man,
I don't
wish
understand.
He came to Dallas.
Me too.
Bro, he was at Texas. He was going to Texas. He was down the road.
Everyone thought
they were
going
to move up.
People he would move up or he would fall because everyone else had other needs.
Right.
Running back. But for whatever reason, the Falcons.
I mean, but the Falcons waste a lot of talent. They're wasting Kyle Pitts right
Drake
now.
London,
Don't make
Kyle
no sense,
Pitts,
bro.
That's what I'm
Pitts,
saying.
They don't use him. You know, some of the rumors were Dallas trading for Kyle Pitts, Dallas trading for Derrick Henry, but man, either
Dallas is always in trade rumors.
Yeah,
They get my hopes up for no reason.
Like
first D Hop, then it was Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And then who do we get?
Nobody.
Martavis Bryant, who hasn't played in 5 years.
Yeah.
And then you have Jerry Jones, who goes on to say, "Well, I like where we're at."
Yeah, I like our guy.
Is Martavis Bryant the dude from the Steelers?
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty good when he was with the Steelers, but I mean, he hasn't played in 5 years.
Yeah,
No, I don't think so. And the last 3 teams he played for, the XFL, CFL, and something else, he was suspended from each one of those leagues. So it's like he was suspended from the NFL, he was suspended from the CFL.
For what? All for the same thing?
I don't know what it were. Maybe it was like, you know, maybe performance enhancements or, you know, something, you know, more recreational stuff.
Real quick though, I want to get. Do y'all got any Super Bowl predictions? Who y'all think gonna be in the Super Bowl?
You know, there's a theory out there that
Cowboys and Chiefs.
That would be a good one. But when they come out with the Super Bowl logo and it has the colors, that the colors of the team is what the script says.
What the script
What's
says.
the color this year? What's the color this year?
It's purple and
Ravens.
Ravens.
Or Vikings.
and red.
But
Purple and
The
red.
Vikings just lost their
Niners and Ravens. Niners and Ravens.
Niners and Ravens.
Nobody has ever lost to Kirk Cousins and made the Super Bowl the same year.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Really?
He
That
always
is.
had those weird stats, bro. I can't.
Stats of all
Those weird
time.
stats, man.
I mean, it's true. I think it was the Ravens.
There's been a couple of times where they had lost to the Vikings during the season and they hadn't have made the Super Bowl, or they got bounced in the conference championship.
For me, in the AFC would be the Ravens. Like, I really like the Ravens, so I'd say
I'm liking the Ravens right now.
In the NFC, dude, it's anyone's
Yeah.
game for the
Yeah,
NFC.
There's like 5-10.
So I think I would give it to the Eagles. I think it'd be Eagles going again. Ravens, Eagles, and I think the Ravens beat the Eagles for it. So that would be my prediction. The 49ers look a little... To me, the 49ers play too physical. Their team won't. Their entire team, their key players might not make it to the end of the season. They play
Too much of a workload.
Yeah, too much of a workload. They play too physical. They're going to end up getting hurt. So I would... The Cowboys... I don't know, man. We got McDonald's at home with the Cowboys. They had a chance to make it better, but they didn't. You know, as a fan, I hope they do. I hope they finally do. But I think this season for me, for the Cowboys, would be just prove it. Prove your contenders. Prove you're able to do it. But for me, it would be the Eagles.
Yeah, because every season it's like, okay, we made it to the wild card. Let's show them what we did. Then last year, all right, we won the wild card. Let's move on to the playoffs, and then we get to the first round of the playoffs, and it's like everything just went
deer in hell.
Everything just.
The only thing that gives us hope is that every team has weaknesses. Like before, like last season, you would have been like, man, the 49ers look really good. The Eagles look really good. Both of them aren't making mistakes. Injuries would be the only thing that, you know, helps you get over the hump. You know, the other team's getting injuries. But, you know, this season, like, everyone looks like they could just slip and the Cowboys could go. My dark horse for the NFC would be the Lions, so.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, I think that just about wraps up our show today. Thank you all very much for coming on the show. I know y'all had a busy day today, but we appreciate y'all taking the time for us today.
We appreciate y'all.
I'm JoJo once again. I'm here with
AD
and Skelly.
And that's all for our show. See y'all on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for listening to KSBM Radio, the voice of Townview.
My radio station.
We hope you enjoyed the great content and great discussion, all from a student's perspective. Make sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest updates at KSBM_TVT or on Facebook at KSBM Radio.
Add them on Facebook.
Check them on Facebook. Take care.